Let's start at the top with the biggest and perhaps most shocking. Gordon Hayward to the Hornets, leaving the Boston Celtics, bidding Danny Ainge and Brad Stevens adieu, and heading down to the Carolinas to join LaMelo Ball. Which is a sentence I didn't think we'd be saying so early into the LaMelo Ball tenure. But I guess he's already attracting superstars. 4 years, $120 million for Gordon Hayward. Mark, Boston Celtics expert, how do you feel about Gordon Hayward leaving, and what do you think about his contract?
I'm not too mad about him leaving.
Yeah.
He wasn't. Yeah, he's just had just a lot of bad luck during his time here.
Yeah.
I respect him. He
For
was
sure.
gonna be good, but that ankle injury really messed him up. His contract with Charlotte. I think it's funny. I have a list of funny contracts, and his is the only one there.
Yeah.
Why are you paying him 30 million a year? I don't
It,
get it.
it's a weird one. Yeah, I heard you heard all these teams out there. Indiana. I heard New York Knicks. But I never heard 4 years, $120 million for a guy who played all of 1 hour on his max deal before snapping his leg, and then
Yeah,
played all of like 5 games of when he came back before breaking his hand. Um, I loved him in Utah. Man, if we can just jump back to our last topic real quick. Can you imagine if they had Gordon Hayward there at the level he was with Donovan Mitchell?
he's the
Um,
white LeBron. I was a big fan.
with
Yeah.
LeBron. Yeah. But what the heck is Charlotte doing? I don't know. Uh, this doesn't make any sense to me when you've got a guy like LaMelo Ball who has played 0 seconds of basketball in the NBA, and now you're going to go, oh, we need a superstar, so we're going to pay this guy. Ryan, what do you think?
So when I was looking up stuff, there was actually a trade in place to send. Um, there's to send crap. It's okay. Send
Okay.
Hayward and someone else to Indiana for Miles Turner and McDermott,
Okay.
but Danny Ainge didn't like the results that he was getting back. So he
Mm.
said swap McDermott for either TJ Warren, a
Ooh.
scoring machine, or Oladipo, just because
Oh, man.
Oladipo was said not to want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And the Pacers were kind of like, whoa, okay, you're getting greedy. Like,
Yeah.
no, thank you.
Yeah.
And that's why
And
he ended up
Ainge.
going to Charlotte. So
Yeah, I wouldn't give up a guy like T.J. Warren straight up for Gordon Hayward. Um, a guy with any sort of potential, I wouldn't give up for Gordon Hayward. Um, yeah, I think we all agree that we just don't know what the heck happened here. But good for Gordon Hayward, $120 million in the bank. Um, taxes are low down there in the Carolinas, so have a good time, Gordon. Hope you enjoy playing with LaMelo Ball. Um, good luck. um, let's go on to our next one then. Goran Dragic is returning to the Heat
Mm.
on a 2 year, 37.4 million, $37.4 million deal over 2 years for Goran Dragic. Came off the bench a lot last year for the Heat. Was really the spark for that second unit. I felt like. Um, do you think this was too pricey of a deal to bring him back, or is this worth it for a guy who adds a lot of leadership and bench scoring for your team?
Worth it.
Worth
It's
it?
worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. He's a beast.
Yeah.
Especially when he played on his injury. I'm like, yo, like I respect you so
Yeah.
much.
Tough as nails. I mean,
Yeah,
played through. He had a foot injury. Is that right?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
plantar fasciitis, I believe, which just sucks. It's one of those injuries that you feel always, especially when you're playing basketball. So for him to play through that is a real testament to the guy. I saw him play years ago in Phoenix, and I fell in love with his game. You'll never hear his name in a news story or anything. 37.5 million over 2 years. What's that in math? Like 18 a year or something like that.
yeah, that's what it
That's
says.
like
19 a year.
18
Um,
and a bit. Yeah.
something like that. Feels a little rich to me. But again, who else are you going to pay on that team? Just like something you brought up earlier. Ryan, what do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think along with a lot of other veteran point guards, I think you bring him in there to coach your young point guards. And I mean, it's only 2 years, so you're not committing a lifetime to him. But
That's right.
yeah, just like speaking to his character and like his will to win, I think it's perfect. I love his game. So
Yeah, no, I would agree with you guys. Another one of these guys that only gets his contract with Miami, I think, or I feel like. Maybe not. Maybe someone else falls in love with him. But I think Miami is the perfect place for him. And he's another one of these guys that just fits right into the system. And I'm happy they brought him back. He's going to be crucial. Maybe not on the court, but in other ways if they want to make another finals run. Agreed?
agreed.
Agreed. Let's move on. The most upsetting signing for Lou Williams and Patrick Beverly, Montrezl Harrell is going to the Los Angeles Lakers on a 2-year, $19 million deal. My first thought was, holy cheap. 2 years, $19 million for the reigning sixth man of the year. Montrezl Harrell is kind of Bam Adebayo-like. He's a shorter player, if you want to call it like 6'8" short. But he plays more of a power forward position, power forward center kind of hybrid than Bam Adebayo. I love Montrezl Harrell. He was, I certainly wouldn't say he was the best player on the Clippers, but he was maybe my favorite guy on the Clippers last year. 2 years, 19 compared to what we just saw from Goran Dragic, who's a million years old, got 37.4 over 2 years. This feels like an easy decision for the Lakers to me. Ryan, what do you think?
Yeah.
I think, just what you were saying. I think Harrell was definitely the most consistent guy on the Clippers. I mean, consistently, you knew that he was going to produce. And former six man. And he was talking about how the Clippers didn't really like reach out and they didn't show a lot of interest for him. And hey, if you wanna play basketball for a team that wants you, and
for sure.
if the Clippers didn't want him, then hey, the Lakers are the former champions of the league, so why not go to somebody that you know can bring you a championship?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's all correct. I didn't see this as a super need for them. They lost Dwight Howard, but they're getting some other guys. Marc Gasol is coming along. But I think if you put him, you can play him some minutes with Anthony Davis, putting those two guys down the post together. I love that combo. You can play him coming off the bench by himself down there in the post. Obviously, sixth man of the year. So that's going to work. Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's the LeBron effect. This guy's just bringing all these, like Dennis Schroeder, Harrell, Wesley Matthews, Marc Gasol. Like Marc Gasol was going to play in Spain, and LeBron's like, "Yo, come back." He's like, "Oh, bet I'll leave. I'll leave my family." So that's a crazy pickup. He's such a beast. So it's gonna be wild.
It's a good point to make. We've seen this all along LeBron James's career. He's a gravitational pull to these veteran guys who want a ring and will come there for a little cheaper maybe. The list of guys that have played with LeBron is endless. George Hill, Matthew Dellavedova, all these kind of random guys, or you could call them random, and show up with LeBron and they turn into a really good team. But Montrezl Harrell might be the best of all those guys. The list of those LeBron role players. He's a legit guy. He's pretty young. I don't know how old he is exactly.
He's 26. That's 26. What I was just going to say.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah, this move, it works for their future and their now.
Yeah.
So that's another reason why I like the move.
Yeah, great reason. Yeah, if it comes, let's say at the end of this 2-year deal, let's say LeBron retires after 2 years, 2 more years, 2 more rings, and he retires. Anthony Davis, Montrezl Harrell, I can roll with that going forward. You're always going to be able to attract free agents to Los Angeles. Guys just beg to come to play for the Lakers, basically. So I like that as their future. Let's move on then. We're going to talk about 2 guys in combo here because it makes sense to. Danilo Gallinari and Bogdan Bogdanovic, I believe his name is, are joining the Atlanta Hawks. Bogdan as a restricted free agent from the Kings. Danilo Gallinari is coming over from OKC on a 3-year, $61.5 million deal. No reported numbers for Bogdan yet. What do you guys think about this move, adding a little bit of scoring around the young superstar Trae Young? Mark, you got a smile, so let's go to you.
I like it. Atlanta's making moves.
Yeah.
Bogdanovic and Gallinari are just pure scorers. You can rely on them to score the ball. So I think that's big for them. And I already liked like the young guys that they had in Atlanta. Like they weren't good enough to make the playoffs or anything, but like Trae Young, they got Clint Capella too, which is also
Clint
really
Capella's down there. They got some nice players. Rondo just signed there. Yeah, we'll throw him into that as well. Rajon Rondo, 3-year deal or 2-year deal maybe with the Hawks as well. I love this move. Ryan, let's hear from you first though. What do you think?
Just to add, they picked up Chris Dunn too, the defensive-minded point guard. So,
from Chicago. Yeah.
If I'm Trae Young right now, I'm sitting here and going, wow, like my team wants me to stay. My team is wants to win now, and they did the right moves to make it. Yeah, like Mark was saying, Bogdanovic and Gallinari are proven scorers. And you add Rondo in there, and even if Rondo doesn't play well, I think he can teach Trae Young like a lot about the game, a lot about like a basketball IQ, and Trae Young just pick his brain and learn so much from a guy that's proven he's a winner.
Especially on defense, I think. Yeah. Just to cut in, because Trae sucks at defense right now. He can't play it. And Rondo has always been a really great defensive point guard. Sorry to jump in. Keep going, Ryan.
I hit on basically everything, but I like them. I like their moves.
I agree with you. I love adding scorers around Trae Young. He's a great scorer himself, but like we said, you need to distribute it around a little bit more. And finally, a team is making a real effort to keep their young superstar for the future. They're building around him. They're doing it right. What I really like about these the two guys, Gallinari and Bogdan especially, is they're not ball dominant. Trae Young is going to handle the ball on every play. That's fine. That's great. I'm totally happy with that. So you add some guys around him that don't need the ball a lot, can play off ball just fine, play good defense, and can be versatile scorers around Trae Young. I love it.
And their jerseys are sick.
Yes. New Hawks jerseys. Finally, they got
they're so fire.
The neon green out of those. Man, those are ugly. Those neon green. No. But I love going back to the classic look. I think every team in sports that goes back to their classic look, you just can't go wrong. Like the Browns did it this year, the Cleveland Browns, the Hawks going back. You just can't go wrong with it. I love it. Ryan, do you have thoughts on the Hawks new jerseys?
I think the Hawks new jerseys are fire. They're neon like red and green and yellow ones that they used to rock when Jeff Teague and
Paul
and
Millsap
Al Horford were like the stars in Atlanta. Those are butt ugly.
Yeah.
So I played them in 2K a couple times, and I like their jerseys.
Yeah. A rebrand doesn't hurt, and some new guys to come along with it. So the Hawks are looking up. Let's keep moving. A guy that for me is the under the radar signing of the year, and I got convinced of this after watching a video on the Ringers YouTube page. Kevin O'Connor, who is their head NBA guy, made a video about Christian Wood that convinced me he is the next up and coming guy in the league. I am fully bought in with Christian Wood. He goes to the Houston Rockets on a 3-year, $41 million deal. He'll join DeMarcus Cousins in that front court, who comes along on a 1-year deal with no numbers reported that I could find yet, but probably a pretty cheap deal for him. Do you guys have a feel for Christian Wood, and what do you think of this contract?
Yeah, no. Can I take a quick second to look him up?
Yeah.
I want Duncan to sell him to me because I've been seeing a lot of YouTube videos about him, and I haven't clicked on one yet.
So. No, yeah, let me sell you Christian Wood. Comes from the Detroit Pistons.
Yep.
Maybe I'll just admit it that the Detroit Pistons are my most hated NBA team because I seem to talk about them a lot. It feels
you don't like them.
No, but he was lost in the swamp of the Detroit Pistons for the last couple of years. He's young, man. He's 25 years old. He's a power forward player, 6'10", built like a rock, and he's a stretch four, which you need in this league today. He's the best stretch four available on the market this year for me. He can shoot. He can play inside. He's kind of a throwback player, big, tough, physical, but still does those new age things. He doesn't do them as well as Anthony Davis or some of those other guys, but just adding a good, solid third option to your team, I think Christian Wood is that guy. And I would love to have him on any NBA roster. I think he fits in anywhere right now, but he's going to get a chance to start with the Houston Rockets. And I think he's going to be the guy that comes on the scene this year. And we're going to go, whoa, where was Christian Wood for the last 4 years? He was in Detroit getting lost.
How many years has he been in the league? He's been,
I believe,
he was in Detroit for 4 years.
4 years. Maybe if you guys are looking him up, you can tell me that. But yeah,
he was with the Portland or New Orleans Pelicans last year, or like 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Okay, yeah. So I have it wrong. But yeah, he's been. Let's get this right. He was with the Pelicans 2 years ago, the Bucks 3 years ago. He was an undrafted guy in 2015. So he's been around for a while. Started with the Sixers back in 2015. Bounced around some G League teams. But he's going to Houston now. He's developed really nicely over the last couple of years. And I see him being a big component for this Houston Rockets team. Did I sell Christian Wood to you guys well enough?
I trust the ringer.
See, but I know you can sell him to us, but does him going to the Houston Rockets sell it to Westbrook and Harden enough to stay?
No.
Or are they gone?
No, I don't think those guys care.
Christian Wood's coming? Bet.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay. Yeah.
I think those two guys are gonna kind of make up their mind regardless, and I don't think those guys are gonna make their decisions based off anything the Rockets or anyone else do. It's gonna be based on
Harden
what they want.
He already declined like a $70 million year. Like it was like 2 year, $150 million.
Yeah, it was $50 million a year for 3 years, I believe. He turned that down, but he can still sign that. That's not. He just turned it down for now, so that's still on the table. But yeah, I agree with you guys. I don't think this seals the deal or anything. But even if those guys leave, that's a guy you can build around for me. He's young. Real young.
Okay.
So
I'll keep that in mind for my fantasy season this coming year.
Write Christian Wood down and keep an eye on him. Let's move on then. One that me, myself especially, was very wrong about. Fred VanVleet going back to the Raptors, 4 years, $85 million. Oh my God, what a disaster. This is awful. This is the worst. Maybe one of the worst moves of free agency to me. I love Fred VanVleet. Let me get that out of the way. I love him for the same reasons everyone else does. Tough player, Band-Aid on the face and whatnot. But 4 years, $85 million for a team that's already paying Pascal Siakam a max deal. Is Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet really your superstar combo to lead you into the future? I mean, I don't like Pascal Siakam that much. Yikes. That's my reaction. Let's go to you guys. Ryan, what did you think?
I love it for Freddie just because of how much I love him.
For sure.
And just because of how much of a competitor or like a player and like just how much he compete and how well he does that. But as a team, like the moves that they're making, you can kind of tell that they're preparing to like do this quick rebuild type type of thing. But yeah, Siakam and Fred VanVleet leading the way as your two main guys is tough.
I wish I could put, if you could put Fred VanVleet's will into Pascal Siakam's body, you might have the best player in the NBA. But as two separate players, I just don't get it. I don't think they're going to be able to rebuild in a couple of years if they need to. If we get 2 years down the line, you're going to be locked up salary-wise. So I just don't love it. Mark, what do you think?
I love it. That means the Raptors aren't going to be competing with Boston for the next couple of years. This is big.
Yeah.
Spicy P and Freddie VanVleet leading your team?
Yeah, they're going to sell a lot of jerseys and stuff.
Yeah.
But
kind of the same thing Ryan said. Good for Fred, but I'm not sold. No. He's not that good.
No.
Yeah, because they lost Gasol and then they lost Ibaka, and
yeah.
Who knows if Lowry's like done in a couple of years.
Yeah, Lowry's gone after next year.
Who else do you have? And then that guy on the team that made rookie third team is like tied up into legal charges. That was tough to watch.
What's his face?
Yeah, I don't remember him.
But Ferguson? Terrence
Davis.
No, Terrence Davis.
Terrence Davis third.
Yeah, probably not coming back. So
yeah, probably not.
Yeah,
he was good too.
Yeah, don't love it. I would give a thumbs down. But like Ryan said, love it for Fred VanVleet. I hope he gets all the money.
Bet on yourself.
Yeah, bet on yourself for sure. He did, and he got paid, so no disrespect to him. But for like Masai Ujiri, what are you doing, man? You're supposed to be like the big genius up in Toronto, and you're just handing out fat contracts left and right. So don't get it. Any more thoughts on Fred VanVleet, or can we move on?
I think he's going to be an all-star anytime soon.
No.
Hopefully.
I'm going to go with no. In the East, no. All right, let's move on then. Let's do a happy one, a real quick one. Carmelo Anthony is back in the NBA. I'm stoked. He's going back to the Portland Trail Blazers. Let's go real quick on this one. I love Carmelo. I love the Blazers. I love it. Thoughts?
Yeah, I think the Trailblazers made some good moves. They re-signed a lot of key guys, and I love Carmelo Anthony. When he was not playing, I was heartbroken. So to see him back in the league,
it was so sad to see him out of the NBA. And like, yeah, I mean, as a personnel decision, it's like whatever. But just having Carmelo Anthony back in the NBA, it's like, okay, everything's good, everything's all right. Carmelo's in the NBA. Mark.
Yeah, I picked him up on my fantasy team last year, and everyone was skeptical. But I'm like, yo, it's Carmelo Anthony. Like,
he can score.
He's still going to be able to score and get rebounds. Yeah. So yeah, I have a question. Who comes to mind when I say Melo?
Carmelo Anthony. Yeah.
Don't even say the other name.
Just checking. Just checking. All these young guys are like, Melo? Oh, you mean Melo Ball?
Oh God, and that kid is on Instagram as @Melo, and I was like, no.
Yeah.
No, Carmelo is Melo.
Good, yeah.
Not LaMelo.
Hall of Fame player?
Yes.
Carmelo?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
There we go.
As a scorer, generational, for sure.
Yep.
Got stuck. They thought Allen Iverson, Carmelo was going to work. I don't know why. And then
in Denver.
And then he got stuck with the Knicks. So that I would call that a big fat not his fault on not winning an NBA championship.
Yeah. He's got one of the nicest shooting forms I've ever seen.
He's a beautiful shooter. Yeah, no, he's one of the all-time great scorers, and he'll never get enough credit for it. But I'm just happy he's still suiting up.
Portland.
Yeah. Let's talk about Joe Harris. I love Joe Harris with the Brooklyn Nets. They've got so much noise going on around that team, of which superstars are going to be coming in and out, but you still need to put 5 guys on the court. So Joe Harris, a sneaky good signing for me. 4 years, $75 million. Pretty good, mid-level contract. He gets what he's worth. I don't think it's not too pricey for me. I don't know where they're finding salary cap up in Brooklyn with what they're paying DeAndre Jordan, Kevin Durant, and who's the other guy? Kyrie. Kyrie Irving. And they still sound like they want to pay James Harden. So I don't know what salary cap rules they're playing by, but they're not the regular ones. Do you guys have a feel for Joe Harris?
I love Joe Harris, former 3-point champion.
Yeah.
And he's 29, but he's that Kyle Korver type guy where you know what you're getting out of him. Mm-hmm. You know this guy is going to get open and he's going to shoot threes and he's going to knock them down. And like you were saying, like he's not tied up to anything too expensive. And just going off of what I researched, he didn't want to be on any other team. Like he was committed to the Nets and the type of team they're building. So
yeah,
I love it. So
yeah, maybe the first mark of validation for the Steve Nash, Mark D'Antoni, Amari Stoudemire Nets. When James Harden wants to come play, I wouldn't say it's an indication of your team chemistry. But having a guy like Joe Harris, who from all accounts seems like a pretty good guy, wanting to come back, being committed to come back to your team, I think is a great move for them and a great indication of the culture they're building. Ryan, you make a good point. Bring up a good example with a guy like Kyle Korver, and Carmelo, who we just talked about, is another good example. These guys who are solid jump shooters never lose that. I mean, you never lose your jump shot unless you have a bad injury to your lower half. I don't think you ever lose that jump shot. And guys like Kyle Korver and Melo stick around till they're like 40 years old and can keep contributing to a team. So yeah, I don't mind him being 29 years old. I don't think you're looking for any athletic wows from Joe Harris. Mark, what do you think of Joe Harris?
Yeah, I'm glad he stayed in Brooklyn. He would have gotten paid if he went somewhere else. I know a lot of teams need a guy like that.
For sure.
He's a proven shooter. So yeah, good on Brooklyn.
Right on.
It'll be good for them.
I don't think too much else to say there, and we're kind of running out of time. I noticed, I don't know who put this down on our Google Doc, but someone put Aaron Baines, 2 years, $14 million deal. Someone put up their hand and talked about
it's definitely Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan. I was just talking about that. I was sad to see him leave the Suns. Kind of a weird pickup by Toronto, just because of the whole rebuilding thing. But I mean, maybe they're gonna go towards a more mobile team, and who knows, it might work. So
there you go.
And Baines at a cheap contract is
2 for 14.
Nothing
that's
too
great.
serious.
Well, good job, Ryan. Way to end on a positive note for the Toronto Raptors. I'm sure all the Raptors fans listening appreciate you putting a little positive spin on it. Aaron Baines going to the Raptors, 2 years, $14 million.